Brisk. What can I say about Brisk? You know, he was a nice guy and everything. I just, I don't want to say anything bad at this point because, he's gone. He's a decent performer. I do remember this one time we were wrestling, I don't know, some gig, the NQPWF or something like that, and some incarnation of that. Brisk and I were set to face off, and we didn't go through a lot of details. We just kind of winged it, and when the time came, he set me up for a sidewalk slam. So he had me up by his hip there, and he just, I don't know, man, he just let me go. He just let me go, and I flopped against the ground. Felt like I shattered my hip. Really felt like I shattered my hip, and I was in agony. It was kind of the hip, kind of the back, but he didn't take very good care of his opponent, let's say. We were working together, and you're supposed to take care of the guy, but he just dropped me. That was it. I went to the doctor, and they said my spine was warped. So I couldn't... Well, they advised me not to wrestle, but, of course I did anyway, for a few more years, but that back was... It was bad. It was bad, and Brisk did that. But other than that, he was a good guy. May he rest in peace.
Talk to us about Brisk, they said. Talk to us about Jerry, El Baldito, martial artist, whatever you want to call him. He's the drizzling shits. He's a pain in the ass. You'd be in the back, you'd be talking about a spot with him, and he's just sort of clicking at you like a xenomorph, and you think, well, that's got to be an affirmative, right? No. Then you get out front and you go for a basic backbreaker, and now he's on top of you in a headlock for some reason, because he forgot to not put you in a headlock. Pain in the ass. So what the fuck is Brisk anyway? He didn't move briskly. It's like a beverage-based gimmick. I don't get it. You want a better one? You bring one of these out to the ring. You call yourself El Toro Rojo. Pound it before you go in. Boom. Beverage-based gimmick. Simple. You want an asshole gauge on Brisk, on Jerry? He got Minion pissed off. Minion's the sweetest human being on the planet. You don't get Minion pissed off. Fuck Brisk.
Like so many of us, he had demons, Everyone has demons that they wrestle with. And, well, I used to say a lot of prayers for Brisk. And I still do. May God rest his soul. I hope that he managed to straighten out his life before... Let's just say, I hope Brisk found peace before God called him home. Because I'm sure it wasn't easy what he was going through and wrestling, this lifestyle, the culture. I mean, it's not easy to walk the straight and narrow like me. Too many temptations. Poor Brisk.
What are my memories of Brisk? I got memories of Brisk. Cold. Clammy. Has no idea what it's made of. What a shitty drink. What? Oh, we're not talking about the drink? We're talking about that Brisk? Well, that's great. That brings back even shittier memories. My God, thinking back in the day with Brisk. what a strange character he was. We didn't know what character that was. I don't think he knew what character that was. I mean, like, who wears a trench coat with Adidas? I mean, who does that? I mean, like, he must be the love child between Neo and the martial artist. My God. And then his wrestling style. He couldn't tell if he was heel or face. I don't think he knew if he was heel or face half the time. I mean, his psychology was completely off. You would, like, do your finisher on him, and then he would just get up and attack you. And I'm like, dude, the match was supposed to end now. Did he even go to the School of Hard Knocks? No. I think he went to the School of Hard Cocks. That makes more sense. Thinking about all this shit makes me want to have an anal evacuation. Fuck. Someone left their dirty underwear out.
Brisk. Oh. There is a name I never thought I'd hear again. Oh, God. Let's see. Brisk. Terrible athlete. Terrible person. Just an all-around terrible human being. This is someone who couldn't wrestle, who didn't tell you what they're doing before they did it. Doesn't take care of you. He hurts you. You're guaranteed to get hurt. Trying to communicate, you know, during the match, he's just making noises and all this stuff. You just don't know what's going on. It's insanity. That's not what you want. You know, when you work with someone, it's not what you're looking for. I remember I had a great program with Brisk. I was managing Minion, I believe, and we were supposed to Falls Count Anywhere. We went all over the neighborhood. It was pretty memorable. Hit me with the guitars and chairs, shattered all kinds of wood on top of each other. He threw me on a car, he threw me into a stop sign, a fire hydrant. I was bleeding like a son of a bitch. And that was a great thing. Cops came. Of course, I would have to kick his ass backstage, because let's be honest, it's not that hard to do. But I'd have to kick his ass every now and again backstage just to put him in place. Sometimes he got a little crazy. Drugs will do that. But I put his ass right where it needed to be, so that he would fall in line. Champion or no champion, I wasn't gonna take any of his shit. But yeah, that's really the only experience I had with Brisk. Short-lived. And now he's gone. So, hell with it.
You know, every time Brisk and I would wrestle, and I go to pick him up to do a move, he'd get really nervous. He'd be like, And I'd be like, shut up, man, shut up. You're ruining the kayfabe. What are you doing? And I remember one time, his finishing move was called the Endless Nightmare, and I think it was appropriately named because I think he even got confused when he was doing it. And, it was sort of a twist into a stunner, and he would grab your arm and twist it, and then sort of give you a stunner, or kind of like a twist of fate type thing. And one time he was doing it to me, and I think he lost track of whose arm was what, and it ended up with me having him in position to do his finishing move. To him. And there was one time, where I was driving to a show with Brisk and FroMan too was in the car, and the song that he used for his entrance came on. It was called Poem, and we're driving, the music's pretty loud, and FroMan thinks he hears something, so he starts lowering the volume on the music, and as he's lowering the volume, it's Brisk in the back seat. He's humming his tune. He's humming the tune of his theme song while it's playing on the radio.
He was a piece of shit. I don't know. What do you want me to tell you? He liked to party. I'm down with that. But other than that, guy can't wrestle. Can't even talk. I know he's dead. Whatever. Like, we're not supposed to talk about the bad stuff now because he's dead. Like, I don't think so. I'm sorry, but he was what he was. Dead or alive. This one time, I remember we had to travel together a few times. So, this one time, we finished up wrestling for the day, packed up the shit. We're going to a party in Bayshore, right? So we're driving, I'm driving. There's another thing, he can't drive for shit. So I'm driving, and of course we did a little pre-gaming. Also, Brisk really liked H. You'd see him at any given time. He's got holes up and down his arms. Fucking ridiculous. But, yeah, we were pre-gaming. We had like a 12-pack in the car while we're driving, and I was having like maybe 5. Jerry had about 6 at that point. We didn't even get to the party yet. Fucking guy starts making all these noises, like more strange than usual. So I'm looking at him, I'm driving, I gotta pull over, and I watch the guy just into his own shirt. I see it getting filtered through the shirt, pukes coming out the bottom, all over my car. I'm pissed. I take him out of the car, whip his ass. Back into sobriety a little bit. Then I made him clean it up. Good times. There was this other time. We were going to a show. We had this program together. I was going to fight him, and I believe it was Jonny Deathrow in a handicap match. So I was trying to get over as, big time heel. So I had to beat them both. And I did. Because, I told management, no fucking way Dark FroMan hangs around here if I don't get this victory tonight against both Jonny Deathrow and Brisk, and I want more handicap matches that I get to win. Otherwise, I'm walking. But that's besides the point. I had Jerry in the car with me. We're on our way to a match, okay? Even Dark FroMan likes to stay a little sober for that. But Jerry wants me to pull over. Again, Bayshore. Right by the train station. I'm like, what the hell are we doing? Brisk wants to pick up some rocks, do some rocks before the show, and he also picked up a hooker. Again, I'm driving. So I got a hooker in my car. There's a drug deal happening between Brisk and a hooker. And I don't know if it was a drug deal. It was more like a negotiation. And he was trying to get crack on the side. Like, as part of the arrangement, he wanted to get laid. And he also wanted her to sell him rocks. So that's really, that was what was going on in my car. I told him, hey man, we don't have time for this shit. So he just ended up scoring some rocks. She didn't do anything, to my knowledge. Got out of the car and then we went to the show. Jerry did crack. Brisk, excuse me. Heroin, crack, coke. He would always be getting nosebleeds in the middle of a match. Terrible, horrible. So one time he was fighting me. He's got the nosebleed going on. Holes in his arms. He's a wreck, total wreck, making all these noises. Tells me, you know, put me down hard. I need to go over there and puke. So I did. I put him down with a super kick. He crawled off, you know, off camera and puked. I mean, that's just the way he was. But, yeah. I mean, where do you think all those noises come from, right? Sometimes he did his little stint as the martial artist. Only drugs could produce a result like that. The martial art. It's gotta be heavy, serious drugs. It was bad. It was bad.